Hi, I'm Paul from My Garden Design. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a landscaper at Holland Landscapes for over 20 years now, probably about 23. I'm also a director of Tapestry Design Studios. I set up My Garden Design in 2020 to help landscapers save time. So the idea is that all the information for garden designs is sent over through the website. We then design the garden in the landscaper's name to their brief, and within 4 weeks, a plan is presented to the landscaper, which they can then send over to their client. They can quote from this plan, they can build from it, and it just saves the landscaper a lot of time, and it's encouraging landscapers to charge for design, which they should be. So today in this video, I'm going to be talking about how I work out my cost per hour. Now, this is an essential part of running a business, an essential part of quoting. You need to know what you're charging your client. There's no point in saying what's the going rate per square metre, what are you charging, mate, what are you doing this. Everyone is different. I could be talking to a business next door who also does landscaping, and we could be charging completely different figures. So this is unique to you, and you need to not worry about what other people are charging. So just a caveat quickly, I'm not a business expert. This is just what I've learned over the years. I also have business advice from Neville Stein, who's a fantastic business coach. I do recommend you speak to Neville if you want to improve your business or you want to work out some things with me. He's fantastic. But this is what I do, and this is how I do it. And I just want to show you how easy it actually can be once you know what you're doing. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some figures into a spreadsheet, and it'll work out what we should be charging at the end of it. So we're going to assume that we've got 2 employees on site, and we're going to assume that we're charging £55,000 per year. Well, they're costing us, £55,000 per year for the 2 people. Now, we're also assuming in this that the owner of the business is also on site full time. We're going to assume as well they're going to take £45,000 from the business. Now, please keep in mind that these figures aren't accurate. They're meant to be realistic, but these are just figures that we're making up as such. But they should represent pretty much what other landscapers would be experiencing. Now we go down to the company overheads. Again, this is unique to us. This is how we lay it out. So this bit here is how our accountant presents our expenses and overheads throughout the year. Now, your accountant might do it differently. You change that part, change it to how you need to. And obviously the figures are unique to us, but again, these figures are just a generalisation for this example. So we're going to assume that you've got £1,500 a year in costs or expenses of the owner. So that includes the owner's pension, income protections, critical illness. If you don't have those, do get them. Seek advice from a financial advisor, an independent one. It's really important you do that. It just covers you for later on in life and if you have an accident. So vehicle expenses, we're going to allow £10,000 for. We're going to allow light and heat, £600. We're going to allow for repairs and maintenance, £2,000. We are then going to allow £5,000 for hire of assets, vehicles, diggers, etc. Insurance, we are allowing £7,000 for. That also includes your vehicle insurance, so that's why it's quite high. Advertising and marketing, we're going to allow £5,000 for. £5,000. Telecommunications, £2,000 a year. Accountancy of £1,200 a year. Same for the bank charges. Membership to APO, etc., £1,000 a year. Website, we're going to allow £2,000 a year. We're going to allow £300 on PPE, £200 on printing and stationery. We're going to allow training of about £1,000 a year, so that's your digger tickets, etc. Travel expenses, £200 a year, £300 on entertaining, and sundry expenses, anything else, £500. Now, these figures exclude VAT as well, so that's really important. Everything on this excludes VAT. So we've got our total of £100,000 of the cost of sales. That's your labour rates, that's your labour, that's your time, that's your wage, etc. Company overheads, £41,000. On to the next bit is how many people are on site. So we already said we've got 2 employees, and there's yourself. You're full-time, that's 3 people on site. I'm going to allow 220 days per year on site. Now that will give you a bit of leeway. It takes away weekends, takes away holiday time, takes away bank holidays, gives you also flexibility for wet days. So wet days, snow days, days you can't work for whatever reason, whether it's materials, weather, that should cover you. That should cover you quite nicely. And then 8 hours on site. Okay, so we've got our figures in place. We've got our company set up there. If you've got more people, you can change that, but obviously then you need to change all the other figures to suit. So you can change these accordingly to how you work. Now, this one here is a summary of what the costs are. So this first part here is your employment costs, including yourself. It was £100,000 a year. You divide it by 3 to get that figure. And then the cost per day is £151.52p. That is per person. And then you've got your £18.94 is your cost per hour per person for the employment part of that. Okay, now your overheads, your expenses, total of £41,000. We're dividing it by 3 people on site again, and we're dividing that by the 220 days to get £62.12 per day. And that breaks down at £7.77 per hour per man. So to get our costs, what the minimum, absolute minimum you need to be charging is you add that figure there together to get that. Now, obviously it's a penny out, but that's the way Excel works, but a penny's fine. That's not a problem at all. Then we've got the person per day. So every person per day needs to be charged out at £213.64 in this model, which for 3 people is £640.91p. Now, that's the absolute minimum. You should be charging more than this. You need to allow for days where things go wrong. You might have allowed 20 days for the job, but it's taken 25. It happens, doesn't it? It happens. So you need to allow extra. Plus also, you need to be making profit in your business. You need to be having money in the bank to invest in tools, to invest in your business, in anything that you need for your business. And also, it's good to have that money there if you've got a bit of a bad period coming up, or you don't have work, or whatever reason, you need that money there to rest on. It's very, very important. So what we're going to do the next page is go on to the profit and how much should we be charging and how much profit can we be making out of this part here. Okay, so let's say we're going to charge £250 per person per day on site. That's £750 for your team per day. That's going to give you ultimately a profit of £24,000 per year before tax. That is a really good figure to have. Now, not only have you got the profit on that, you've got to think about your materials. Now, all of this is your overheads. It does not include the cost of your job. And the cost of your job is things like toilet hire, waste, materials, plant hire. None of that has been allowed for in this. So what you need to do now is, when you're working out a quote, is you work out your costs of all your materials, all your plant hire, all your waste, and you've got your cost of the job. You then think, okay, I'm going to put 20% markup on all of that as well, which I highly recommend you mark that up, because again, sometimes we over or underestimate what we need. So it's really important just to add 20% on, or whatever you feel comfortable with. Then you add on your labour. So if you've allowed for 20 days for this job, you then put on £750 per day. This for your team of 3. You times that by 20. You've now got your cost of your job. So you've now got the quote for your job. That's the cost to your client. You've got your markup on your labour. You've got your markup on your materials. Now, it's really sensible to go through this maybe a couple of times a year at the moment, because things are a little bit tight. We know how they are in the world. It's really important to charge this, but it's also shown how easy this actually can be. It doesn't need to be that daunting. All the figures you've already got from your accountant anyway. It's just working out how to use them, which hopefully the spreadsheet helps. Now, this spreadsheet isn't available at the moment because it's just something I use, but if it is something that people would be interested in having a copy of, let me know, and I will see what I can do, whether I have to reformat it and I can work out a charge for this. But please let me know if you would be interested. If you've got any other questions regarding this, please let me know in the comments. But if there's also any other videos you'd like me to do, please let me know. I'm open to helping out people as much as I can. I like to see businesses prosper. I like to see people do well in work in our lives. We work really hard in this industry, and I feel like we need to be improving it, getting the recognition we deserve, but also getting the wage and earnings we deserve as well. So I hope this video has been useful to you. If any more questions or any more videos, please give me a call or contact me via email. All my contact details on my YouTube channel. It'd be nice to hear from you. Please share this video, please like it, please subscribe, and hope to see you again soon. Thank you very much. Bye bye.